Hi there, Johnny Daniel, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. How are you tonight? I hope you're doing well. So for tonight, there's a couple things happening. For one, I just got to pre-order from the new Celebration and new January to June mini catalog. Very cool. Well, not for my wallet, but hey. And I have to say, you need to save up. It's a good one. So some things that have looked like other things in the past, but some new things. And hey Pam, the new mini catalog, or new mini cutter, Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Hey Lise, hey Cheryl. So that will finally be out as of January for you guys. Cool, right? So I should get mine next week and I can give you a little bit more review on that. But if it's anything like the big one, it runs a lot smoother and quite a bit nicer. But if you have the big shot, keep going until the handle falls off and then put the screw back in and do it again. But it is what it is. So for tonight, I figured we should probably get started because I'm doing some cards that have some common shapes, but we're going to be doing some Christmas cards because it is December. So if we don't have them done yet, we got to get started, right? So we shall see. So I think next year I'm going to start in January because I don't have mine done yet. So that's just what it is. Anyways, so we've got the new mini machine coming out. We've got 2 new catalogs coming out. If you've ordered with me since August, when the other mini came out, you'll automatically get them. If you're part of club, you'll automatically get them. If you want to be a part of club again, let me know, which I think everybody has. But if you're not part of club and want to be part of club, I have 2 spots available. So let me know. And I'm going to flip you around and we're going to get to creating, and whatever else I remember is going to be what I tell you about later. So hold on just a second. We'll put you in the thing, in the holder, and magic, just like that. So you have over 30 cards done. Well, I've designed like 80, but I don't have any of my own done. It's kind of like a hairdresser, right? You do a million haircuts, but you don't have your own hair done. So, oh well, it is what it is. So let me get this set up and we'll get to moving. So for tonight, we're going to do something similar to the pictured card I have done, but not exactly. You'll understand in a minute, I promise. So, hey Jude, how are you? So, let's see here. So let's get started, shall we? So I'm going to explain how I did this one, and then I'm going to do the other one, which is similar. So, I started with a thick Whisper White card base, cut at 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. I cut the, what is this, guys? Do you know? I mean, come on, right? No, I'm just teasing. Balmy Blue Glimmer Paper, found on page 37 of the, let's see, the Holiday Mini. I was gonna not say holiday and I was trying to think of the word. Holiday Mini. So this is the Balmy Blue Glimmer Paper, and this is cut, and if I was smart, I would have cut my triangles out of this and save some paper, but I had already cut them out and then decided on this later. Yeah, I know. It is what it is. So you're gonna cut your Balmy Blue Glimmer Paper to 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, and then you're gonna grab your Seaside Spray. Sorry guys. Whew. And that is cut to 5 by 3 3/4. Now, if you want to not cut this all the way down, you're more than welcome to. But by the time I measured this to not be an inch, I was like, forget it. I might as well just do the whole thing. So 5 by 3 3/4 is what I did. Now you can cut it like an inch shorter, but hey, you know. And then I cut a piece of Whisper White, regular Whisper White, not the thick. And this is cut at, I think I started at 4 inches by the 5, and just cut the curve and kind of figured it out, and then trimmed a little bit. Okay. Then I grabbed the, let's see here. I wrote these down so I didn't mess these up, and I'm still messing them up. Of course, right? Winter Snow Embossing Folder, also known as the Snowflake one. So we embossed the curvy afterwards with the Snowflake embossing folder. And then, I don't have Christmas cards done either, Holly, so we need to have a 24-hour binge. It's okay, though. I figured New Year's, Valentine's, or Easter works, too. So I'm just going to start new for the new year and just call it a day. You know, it's just what it's going to be. So, the Seaside Spray is embossed with the folder that Cheryl bought that I had to have once I saw it in her bag. See, it goes both ways, guys. So this is the Evergreen embossing folder. This is on page 35 of the holiday catalog. I also used the stitch triangle dies, which are in the big annual catalog, and they're on page 179. I've used more of that Balmy Blue Sparkly Glimmer paper, and I've also used the Plush Poinsettia Specialty paper, and that's on page 15. I'm just going through the list for you, okay? And then last but not least for this one, we've got the Snowflake Splendor ribbon on page 37. See, you can go back on the replay and go, what did she say? And you'll know exactly where it is. And then these are the Elegant Faceted Gems. Those are on page 157. And obviously the curvy dies are on the, thank you. It is a pretty card. And yes, I cased it from somebody else, except they had the snowflakes in the background, and I think still snowflakes down here. Anyways, I know I can't remember who. Yes, I can find the picture. And then the curvy dies from the flyer. So, good. Okay. I used a lot of glue dots because obviously that's the only thing that sticks on the glimmer paper, and for the ribbon as well as the label on top of the ribbon. So that's how this one was done. Now we're going to actually get to creating the next one, okay? So I have still on my desk, I have the curvy border we're going to use, and then we have the Winter Snow Embossing folder. I always call it the Snowflake one. So, you know, I'm trying to use proper terms and it's just not happening. So, I have a scrap of Whisper White on my table, as well as the classic label punch. That's usually on my table. Between that one and this one, the everyday label punch, those are my two that always seem to find their way on my table. And then I have Merry Christmas put on my block, as well as some washi tape and the Misty Moonlight, which is what matches the mat. But let's do this first. So we have thick Whisper White cardstock cut at 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. All right. Yes, that's my dog, but it's okay. So this guy is cut at 5 1/4 by 4. This is Misty Moonlight. That is going to be our background. So then I have a piece of the Balmy Blue Glimmer paper. And this is going to be Cheryl's favorite in a minute. Okay. This is In Good Taste Designer Series paper. And this is the why of why I say this for Cheryl. So I've cut out In Good Taste, just scraps, honestly, and it could be anything because you're not going to see the back, okay? But stitch triangles, just a couple of sizes that you like. And here's the part that Cheryl's gonna like, my scrappy queen. Okay, so I took a whole bunch of foil scraps that I had in my drawer, okay? All different ones, a little bit of glimmer, just basically anything blingy, okay? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover my triangle, and then I'm gonna trim off the edges. I'm gonna emboss it, and we're gonna cut this to make it curvy, and then we're gonna put it together and hope and pray that it all works. So I'm gonna grab my Stampin' Still Plus, and yes, I have converted over from the regular to the Plus now. I just find it so much easier to work with. I don't have the boogers, and I don't have all the other stuff that happened with the other one. But, you know, teach his own, and that's why there's different ones, right? So we've got this, it's covered in adhesive. Yay. So I'm gonna grab strips. And this is kind of like, what was her name out of Australia? Bertucci. I'm trying to remember her first name. Anybody? Anyways, it's kind of like that technique of the strippy, scrappy technique that they do. But a little bit similar. A little bit different, a little bit similar. All right, so I am literally just putting strips back to back and making them stick down. That's all there is to it, really. You can do a pattern, you cannot do a pattern. What the great thing is about the wood behind it is if you have a little tiny piece like that and it doesn't have sticky on it, which mine doesn't do, I'm leaving that there. I'm not fighting that little itty bitty bitty corner. So what I'm doing is I'm putting this over and I'm literally just trimming off all my excess. Now, if you plan this right, I'm pretty sure you could trim off your excess, and then, hey, guess what? You could probably have a whole nother tree out of this. But I didn't plan that well, and that's okay. So that's my third tree. Now, you could leave it not embossed. You could leave it embossed. It's up to you on what you want to do. But because I have the other two already embossed, I'm going to be embossing. So that way I have consistency. Like everything in life, consistency sometimes matters, right? No, it usually does. So I'm going to grab that. We're going to run the dies, and we're not going to be able to do them at the same time because they're different thicknesses. And while I have the punch out, I am going to grab this here, and I'm going to do a couple. And not because I have the paper here, but because sometimes things don't always work out, right? So that's what's going to happen. So we've got the punches now. I'm going to stick these over here. And, okay. And then the washi tape goes on top there. That gets moved over here. These get moved because they're done. This one and this have to get cut. So let me grab the, oh, all right, got it. This is the queen, and Mini-Me will be here next week, okay? And I say the queen because it's just what it is. And of course the dog's barking, you know, it's just life in my house, right? So this is something you can do when you're tired, or this is something you can do when you're drunk, because it doesn't really matter if things don't line up perfectly and don't shine through. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, oh, this is not a 3D embossing folder. So I'm gonna go, no, it's not a die cut. We're doing embossing folders, right? So this is a standard embossing folder, not a 3D. So I'm gonna do number 1 and number 3. So here's number 1. This is number 2. Nope, that one gets ousted. This is number 3. So we're gonna grab here, we're gonna grab our embossing folder. The copyright on the back is the back, where the logo is your top, or where if you put your paper facing, it'll pop up instead of down. So we're gonna grab here and I'm just throwing it on there, okay? And then I am putting this hinge side first. You always want the hinge to go in first so there's the least amount of flex, so your stuff lasts as long as it possibly can, right? And then we're just gonna run this through. And if I did this right, which I did, I have a nice little snowflake Christmas tree. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm gonna grab my number 2 and I'm gonna put it back because we're gonna do dies now. And we're gonna put number 3 on top of there. And we're gonna grab our curvy border. And I did that because, and I put it to the side so I didn't lose it, because I knew, I had the feeling I was going to. And we're just gonna run this through. If you put the curvy border, hold on. If you put your border up and down instead of, I know it's too wide, but instead of across on your machine, you'll have a nice smooth flow. Anytime you have like a straight line that goes across the rollers, you're gonna get that clunk and it'll vibrate in your shoulder. So what you wanna do as much as possible is make sure you don't have a straight line. So like when I was running the triangles, I had them at an angle, so I didn't have a straight line ever going through the roller, because that's when you get that clunk and the snap of the plates. And I can't imagine that's good for equipment, but it's really not good for me, especially when I'm doing like 300 of them, you know? So, all right, so let me get this out of the way. The queen doesn't look very big. Hoping some of the embossing folders do fit in the mini, but if you notice in the catalog, there will be a little sign next to it that says mini, and so those are guaranteed to fit. I basically got it because it was cheaper and I need a second one to run dies and whatnot during classes. But yeah, the embossing folders, except for the ones out of the heartwarming set, the coffee set, every single one of the other ones is not going to fit it. So it's mainly for dies. All right, so I've got my Misty Mountain, Misty Moonlight, yeah, whatever, you know. I'm gonna get my tape on here. We're gonna throw this on here. Okay, there we go. If you want any ribbon, think about what mats you're doing and make sure that you do not glue down the side that you want to tuck it under, okay? All right, so now I've got my wood, and if I measured correctly, this should be the same, yep, as that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna grab my trees and I'm just gonna kind of line up and get things moving in here, okay? So I'm gonna have this one go down a little bit. Yes, I know they're not glued down, but then I kind of know what order and what I want to do, okay? So I'm just gonna grab my glue. If you want to pop them up instead, go for it. Up to you on what you do, but it's just this simple. And you could grab any shape. I've seen it done with ovals, I've seen it done with rectangles. It's really up to you on what you want it to look like. And yes, you hear my dog barking because I let him out because he wanted out, and now he's playing this game and he's about to drive me insane. So he is being a brat tonight and showing his true colors. All right. So he will get what he wants after. As always, right? Alrighty, so I've got that going on. So far, so good, right? And now I'm gonna grab my label. Remember, I punched out a couple extras, and I'm gonna grab my washi tape, and here's why. I am blocking off my Christmas. I'm not saying I'm blocking off Christmas, but I'm blocking it off so I can have, instead of it being Merry Christmas, it'll be Merry Christmas and it'll fit on my label. That's the why, okay? So I am doing this. Now, if you do what I normally do and forget to take the washi tape off, here's what that looks like. Not good, right? So what we need to do is remember to pull the tape off. And then you don't have ink on the bottom one. Okay? Come off. Okay. So here's my Mary. Let's see if I can do this. This is why I punched out a couple. Because we'll see how good I do. Alright, so now I'm going to clean this and make sure it's really, really, really clean. And here's why. Because now I have to cover up that Mary. So you're going to make sure it's really clean and really dry. So you're going to grab your chamois, a pair of jeans, whatever you have close by, and you're going to make sure that's dry so your tape sticks on there. Because after cleaning it, doesn't always, right? And here we go. Oh, forgot to pull the tape, right? And hi, Iris, how are ya? You missed the team gathering, hun. You need to catch the replay. So yeah, so you need to, uh-oh, did I measure right? Maybe not. Nope, I have Christmas. This is why I did a couple. And it might just be that it is too small. I don't know. We'll see. Because I didn't measure, of course, right? I mean, come on. This is a standard for me, right? Alright, so we're going to block off here. We're going to do Mary again, except I'm going to put it way, 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 way over. Okay. Ha! Forgot to take the thing off. Ha! Told you at one point or another I would do that. And I'm going to cover up my Mary. Not really. Just the words. So we're going to cover up the Mary. We're going to pull Christmas back out. We're going to pull that off. You can reuse the tape, but I tend not to because it gets ink everywhere. And that doesn't look good. I don't like that. So I'm actually not... I like the concept, but I don't like the words like that. So I think I'm going to leave mine blank, actually, and just grab a couple blings and call it a night because, you know, sometimes your labels just don't work, and it is okay. So I am grabbing, these are part of the Elegant Faceted Gems. They're on page 157. Ready? Ooh, ah. These are white or pearlized. These are clear, and these are like a champagne color. So I thought it'd be a good contrast to what I have already. And I'm gonna try to get these to come off. They're on the older side, so, you know, sometimes things don't work as well when we're older, right? Don't we all know this, huh? All right, so I'm gonna grab here and I can do bling and bling and bling and grab a few. Grab a few, put them down, and then I'm actually gonna grab some of my copper stars here. And I don't know if I'm going to do all of them, but I'm going to at least do one and see what it looks like. So there's my one. I don't know about that, but hey, there we go. There, and now it's working better. I think we need them across all of them. We can always pull them off if we have to. What do y'all think? Stars or no stars? I think I like the stars. But now I have 6, so now I gotta do one more bling. What do y'all think? You like? As I put my arm across it? Do you like? Do you like? I hope so. It'll come together. Alright, and one more bling. I don't know if I like it on there. Alright. Good enough for me. So, no label because it didn't work out. You know, that's called flexibility and creativity, right? So, stars. Yeah, I think that ties it all together. So, this is the brushed metallics if you're wondering where I pulled those scraps from. And I hope you like it. Same concept, but look at how different those look. Kind of cool, right? So I'll be asking you tomorrow which one you like better. So thanks so much for joining me. Follow me, stampinwithjohnny.com, and have a great evening. Bye-bye.